Yeah, we should be good. All right, so
Okay.
this is my thing, bro. I've been watching you for a little bit of time, and you know that I'm on the opposite side of the fence with the typical or the prototypical new age 2023 Manosphere, I don't know, 12.0, I guess we're at this point, level of beliefs. I don't agree with a lot of the misogyny, and I've been talking about it for a good amount of time, but I've been watching you, bro, and I'm really making it a habit, and I'm putting together content creators, men who actually have morals, compass, dignity, respect, integrity, and things. And I'm not saying we got to be saints and guys got to be saints, but I'm actually finding the creators that really have something to offer men that'll make their lives better. Like, I don't know where this whole thing got misconstrued at, but it's crazy to me. And I'm going to be talking about you and your channel, bro, and how people are calling you out. And not just you, but I've seen a couple other content creators, I'm not going to be drawing names out, when they start to share something that might just be on that line of what most of the followers in the sphere would classify as fringe or blue pill or whatever it might be, when it really is not. It's just that it takes a little bit of, dirt eating or crap eating for that moment in time to be like, you know what? I can kind of understand maybe why a lady would, or maybe why I could, that middle ground's got to start to be met at some point. And I'm seeing it on a few channels. And obviously some people don't like it. That's cool. The people that want bloodshed 24/7, that's cool. But I mean, the thing with bloodshed, bro, is that eventually you're going to get tired of war. Like, eventually you're going to get tired of screaming at women. Eventually you're going to get tired of always looking for the woman that's going to do something bad to you. Eventually you're going to get tired, bro. And you're just going to be like, you know what, man? Hey, it is what it is. I understand what it is. Let's just move forward with our best foot forward and make sure that we protect ourselves every step of the way. That's the best mindset to have, bro. And nobody's talking about that crap. It's ridiculous at this point, bro. It's a shit show. It's a crap show at this point. Bringing on women who are obviously in certain industries, who obviously don't care what society thinks for the most part, and then trying to pin Christian values and morals by a group of people who really don't even value themselves and their own health. It's miraculous, bro. But I respect you and your channel, bro, even though I don't necessarily agree with everything. And I could even give you one just small certain tidbit so we can go back and forth. But I just want to say I respect you and your channel, bro, to the utmost.
Respect to you, sir. We'll have to collaborate sometime in the near future. And this is a talk that every father should have with his son. The women that are on most of the Manosphere talk shows, podcasts, obviously the women that are qualified to go on those shows are the sex workers. They're the women that are hookers, OnlyFans girls, strippers, women that are it's likely that they've been abused as children. They've had rough lives, and that's what's pushed them into these certain industries. But these are the women that are the qualified candidates in the Manosphere, because the new Manosphere wants to paint women out to be that. They say that's what a modern woman is. They say Brittany Renner is what a modern woman is, but they don't point out Peyton Manning's wife. Why? Because they can't. She's a loyal wife. They don't paint out LeBron James's wife,
right?
Because she's a loyal wife. They don't talk about Snoop Doggy Dogg's wife, right? Loyal for 40 fucking years. They don't talk about those women. No, they only bring up the women that cheat, and it's a small minority. So they paint all women out to be like that in this delusional way. Now, the talk that a father should have with his son is that these women, the OnlyFans girls, the crazy girls, the ones that have been sexually abused and, psychologically abused, the crazy ones, they are the easy targets. They're the easy lays. If you're a guy in high school, those crazy chicks, they're the ones that are easy to fuck. But a father should be telling his son, look, that's a small percentage of women, and you got to stay away from them. You got to find a good girl. And the Manosphere can't really talk about the good girls because it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't sell. It's not that exciting content that's going to bring in 4,000 live viewers at once. So they have to push things in that direction. But yeah, what do you do when morals don't sell?
Right.
Well, you become the opposite of that. If you're all about the money, that's what you have to become. So, it's a challenge as a content creator to find a way to push morals.
And elevate.
How do you?
I want to say this too, man. And my apologies cutting you off. I'm gonna go ahead and finish, and I want to bring up a comment. You're right, though. You're right. Here's the thing I want to say about this. So Brett Overman says, yeah, but those guys are millionaires, right? implying that obviously you have to be wildly successful to have a woman's loyalty or be that high earning, high value, whatever all these other content creators say, right? And
Right.
I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm not saying that if you have $1 million in the bank, it's not a lot easier to have certain accesses to or certain emotions to and from women. That's common sense. But it goes back to what something that I don't know if you talked about this or where I heard it from, but I kind of thought about it too. If you had your choice of cars, and this is the reality of women under the age of well, I mean, it just depends on what they look like, bro. Because I mean, Sofia Vergara looks great. I don't know how old she is, but you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know even about the wall discussion. There's a lot, bro. So we need to collab for sure because I know there's always exceptions, yada, yada, yada. But hey, man, I see women in the gym, on Instagram, on TikTok 24/7, like in the 30s, into the 40s after modern day surgery. Like, not all women are looking bad at 40. Let's be honest. But having said that, though, I'm going to take this thing back. I get that being a millionaire is cool, yada, yada, yada. But the big thing, Brett Overman, why not just try to become a millionaire yourself? Why are you focusing on it so bad that you have to be a millionaire to get a woman's loyalty? No, aim for the moon, land on the fucking stars, bro. If you don't become a millionaire, cool. We're not going to all be millionaires. But why is the message not become a millionaire or a boss, win in life, and then everything else tends to work out following? That's the natural order of things. And the natural order has been lost. And I'm glad you talk about that order here. I just want to pull that point out for a second, LFA. My bad.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you were referring to what I said about cars. What I had said was, if all cars were the same price, would you choose a regular car or a supercar?
Boom.
Well, to women, all men are the same price.
Boom.
That was just, I was just trying to inspire guys to like, and it doesn't, you don't have to be a multi-millionaire professional athlete, rock star or whatever. You just have to be something. You could be, and I said a preacher, a professor at a college, a business executive. Just be something. If you're sitting around working at a warehouse and you're not doing anything with your life, you're going to struggle. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's always been that way. So men have to develop themselves. You have to pick up skills. You have to become somebody that women will want, and then when you become that, if you have toxic views on what you think women are, what the modern woman is, when you become a man of high value, that's going to change because the way they treat you is going to change.
Facts, big facts. And you know what's interesting, bro? I know that Tate, and there's a lot going on with him, and I know you covered him, so it's the only reason I'll bring him up, is big right now. But I think what's fascinating about Tate is that he did have an element of needing to boss up amongst himself, and so I know that there's a lot going on. That's all I should say before they take away monies on here. So that's all I'm going to say there. But he did have some of those slight aspects as far as the sphere goes. I know I've seen a couple of other guys as well. I'm not going to name names, but I think that if it was somehow formulated in a way to where, it's kind of like challenging guys, maybe guys could grasp a hold of it, because guys naturally like to be pushed. At least when they see there's a reward at the end of the tunnel. But a lot of these dudes feel like, and when I hear people in the Manosphere or Manosphere 13.0 or Manosphere 2023, when I hear them talk about things, they almost speak as if there's no hope. It's almost like it's borderline black pill now, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the red pill kind of revolves around she's not yours, it's just your turn. And that statement in and of itself is kind of, if you have this mindset at all times that she's not yours, it's just your turn, you're always going to, you're never going to value relationships with women because you're always going to view them as something that comes and goes. You're never going to develop, family values or anything that's actually going to benefit you because you're always going to want to live that mindset. But about Andrew Tate, the inspiration, because look, Tate might be gone off YouTube, probably never coming back, but the ideas can't be banned. And look, if he's guilty of what he's being charged of, then by all means, I don't support him. If he's innocent, everybody should give him an apology. But the message that he gave and the message that I took was basically that there's money everywhere right in front of you. Right now, I'm leaving money on the table. I could be every 5 minutes I could be shouting out a sponsor and posting a link that I can get paid for. Like there's money all over the place. I don't really, I don't like to be that level of a grifter, but there really is money all over the place. So when I listen to somebody like Tate, it's like, his message is like, what the fuck are you doing? There's money all over the place. Get up and make it. It's here. It's there. It's literally, there are so many different ways you can make money now. And that's what his Hustlers University was all about. So, the inspiration that guys get from him, I totally understand, because low key, when I'm at the gym or whatever, sometimes I'll throw on an Andrew Tate podcast. And it's like, damn, like that was some hard shit he was saying right there.
Yeah. And LFA, let me ask you a question, bro. And this is coming from one of your commenters in the chat, Killer Kyle. He says, isn't Fresh and Fit just black pilling those dudes at the dumb round tables with those chicks? Would you say that that's kind of more of a black pill, like it's over type of, like, should they rebrand as black pill or like, or be identified?
I don't know. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think I'm biased when we talk about Fresh and Fit because I've met both of them. When they're not live when the world's watching, very nice guys, like very cool, easy to get along with guys. So I always I take it easy on them. Is their message good or bad? Like there's a lot of bad shit in it too, I'm sure. But, I'm not sure what goes on with their audience, because their audience seems to be, upbeat, happy, and motivated. But at the same time, like the most popular super chat, dudes will send $100 or $200 super chat just to say, Frank Castle, that 304.
Bruh, I swear, bro.
Like you just wasted $200 to say Frank Castle, that 304.
Hey, if that's what does it for you, if that's what does it for you, and once again, having said that, Brett Overman and a couple guys in LFA, to your point, I'm not saying that there isn't a need for the messages that Fresh and Fit, that these different guys don't sometimes touch on or oftentimes touch on or whatever it might be. I'm just saying the way that it's presented is that this is every single woman today. And you see the problem with women. It's not ever specified like, oh, half are women or 60% of women or 70% of women. The only times numbers are being used is when there's to the severe detriment of the woman. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
And so I get it. I'm not saying, and this is a problem I have on my talks and things like that as well, because I do want to be balanced, and I do want to make sure that the guys who have gone through divorce court, who have gone through horrible situations, who have met women who tried to put them in the ground, I want to make sure that those discussions are balanced and fairly had, right? But once again, it's gotten to the point to where every time you open Instagram, it's a couple who's trying to monetize off of the red pill and the original guys that started this thing, I'm not going to name names once again, but making fake skits about like them sitting at Denny's and it's a date. I kid you not. I watched a fake skit. It's fake as hell, but there's 13,000 comments under this skit acting as if it's real. Now, I get that this might happen sometimes, but these were the words and the lines of the skit. Get this elementary type of conversation. The phone was pointed down to make it seem like the guy's secretly recording, but he captured the water cup that the girl had since they were at the bar. And she said something like, "Oh, is this all you're going to get from me?" Yada, yada, yada. And then he was like, "Well, it's our first date." And she said something else like, "Oh, well, I expected this, this, and that." And then like there were two other lines and he was like, "Well, whatever." The comments were going crazy because they were like, "See, women are so bad. They're just waiting to only eat from you, and they only want to eat and then leave and then go bang." And I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying that this is a fake skit. Now, getting back to my original point, because I know I just said a whole bunch right here, and I'll let you go, LFA. I'm not saying that there's not a need for it. But once again, LFA, you touched on that. If you go outside looking for problems 24/7, 365, you're eventually going to find a problem. Versus if you're just making sure that you're proactively taking care of yourself, your health, and things of that nature, doing the best you can. Hey, sometimes it's going to rain, guys. The good things happen to bad people. Bad things happen to good people. Keep the knowledge and keep your wits about you. I mean, chug on.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing about those videos is, yeah, that does happen a small percentage of the time, but the video isn't pushed in a way of saying, guys, avoid this type of woman and instead go find a good woman. No, the
Right.
video is pushed in a direction of this is how women are as a whole, as a collective. So they're leaving out like 70% of women, and they're just, identifying the lowest of the low, worst, cheapest, trashiest women and saying this is all women. Statistics do matter, numbers do matter, but you can't group like a whole entire fucking group into one category. You have to actually look at the numbers, say what percentage of this group is doing this, and then you start to realize, okay, it's a pretty low percentage, and that's when you'll really know what's going on. But yeah, you know how the manosphere is, man. It's just whatever.
Now Brett says this. Brett says, Brett, I'm gonna go in 1 second. I just want to kind of say something to Brett. He says they eat dinner with you and then they bang the forklift operators like me, right? And Brett, that's cool and that's great, and it's awesome and things like that. But the problem ends up being, Brett, and this is very quick. If one of those girls, bro, happens to be, a decent girl, yada, 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 and she just happened to like you, you're that guy, you're stunting, you're this, and that. This is why I do like what LFA talks about on his channel about, having integrity. And I get LFA's been with lots of girls, he's a good looking dude. I've been with girls and things like that too. But once again, making it a priority that, hey, health is wealth. It's cool to have, to be with chicks, but that's not necessarily what makes you a man. You know what I mean? And then on the opposite side of the spectrum, it's a bit of a confusing thing to me, because it seems to me like when it comes down to the manosphere and the pills, like the black pill and the red pill guys kind of like come together to some extent and agree in semblance on how bad women are, but guys like Brett have no problem still like turning out, pumping and dumping this and that, and then kind of like not contributing to the issue. But like, if you're a dude that can just get women hand over fist, yada, 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 and you just running through women hand over fist, yada, yada, yada. I'm not saying that every single girl is a saint, yada, 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 but what if one of those girls really does like you? I get that women have options, and I'm painting a really type of fairy tale picture in some aspects or some senses, but by just attributing what y'all talk about, the 80-20 rule, then those guys are technically part of the problem as well. If those guys are the same guys that are just pumping, dumping, and then he's sitting here listening in the chat to red pill, black pill messages with guys who don't necessarily get the same amount of play that he gets. It's like, well, I mean, the successors are with the losers in this case in point, but they're all agreeing as if they have the same problems. Yeah. That's all I want to say there, and I'll leave it there. LFA, I left you in a tough spot, but listen, man, respect. I respect you most of the manosphere, bro, and I'm gonna keep on listening.
All right, salute to you, sir. Shoot me an email.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I'm doing that tonight.
All right. Bye-bye.